Hi guys, DIYMark. You know, every woodworker or shop owner I know is always looking for an idea that can make their job easier, more productive, and pleasant. And I've come across an idea that can transform your shop. And it's as simple as flipping a switch. I'm talking about upgrading your shop lighting. When I put together my garage shop some 20 years ago, I put up a dozen or so 4-foot fluorescent fixtures. At the time, they were relatively inexpensive, cheap to run, and gave the best light for the money. But the landscape is rapidly changing, and LED bulbs can really change things for your shop for the better. They offer much improved output, they are very efficient, and they are more friendly. For a long time now, cost was a barrier, but I'm going to explain why I think now might be the right time to jump in. I've got several of the new LED fixtures that I've been testing out here in my shop. And before I jump into what you should buy, let me try to explain a couple important concepts that will make it easier to understand how to compare them. In 2011, the Federal Trade Commission began requiring bulb manufacturers to include information called lighting facts. Much like the nutrition label on food, it tells you the top-level information that is very useful when comparing lights. The reason this kind of information became much more important is the emergence of high-efficiency fixtures like compact fluorescents and LEDs. Just a decade or so ago, we described light outputs by watts. A 100-watt fixture was brighter than a 40-watt fixture, and we bought replacement bulbs by wattage. This labeling method was created by the lighting industry to make it easier for consumers, and it stuck. But today, an LED bulb may use as little as 15 watts of power, but produce the same output as an old 100-watt incandescent bulb. Light manufacturers knew this concept would make most uneducated consumers' heads pop off. So they still mark boxes with incandescent equivalent wattage. Take this box of LED bulbs. It is prominently marked with 60-watt replacement, meaning the bulbs will produce similar output to a 60-watt incandescent bulb. But if we check the back of the box on the lighting facts panel, we will see that the bulbs use about 10 watts of power. The point is, we need to forget about wattages when we talk about light output. At the top of the lighting facts label is the lighting output in lumens. Lumens equals brightness. More lumens, more brightness. The lighting fact label also includes information on expected life of the bulb and the color. Color is measured in Kelvin scale, and it runs from warm to cool. Old incandescents tend to be lower on the scale, meaning they output warm light, which is kind of yellow. Cool light is much whiter and is on the high end of the scale. A couple of years ago, I started seeing LED fixtures for shop lighting. At first, I didn't consider them too much because I had fluorescents and they are fairly efficient. Plus, the cost of LED fixtures was high. But I was intrigued by the output claims of the LEDs. About a year ago, as the price started coming down, I decided to try one of the high output LED fixtures over my table saw. It looked a lot like a standard 4-foot shop fluorescent, but it claimed to have 7,000 lumens of output. It was also a direct wire device, so I had to modify it to use a cord, since all my existing ceiling fixtures are corded. As I took it apart to make the modifications, it gave me a closer look at how these LED shop lights work. As you can see here, there are a number of small diodes which emit light on a long tape. A plastic housing covers the tape to diffuse the light. Once I had it installed, I was blown away by how much more light it put out over my standard T12 fluorescent that it replaced. I was no longer intimidated by the back side of my 6-inch scale. You know, the side that has the 32nds and the 64ths. I could actually see and delineate the markings, and it was like my whole world had changed. All of a sudden, this old carpenter was making fine adjustments again without guessing. In a perfect world, I would have ran out the next day and bought a dozen more of these babies and replaced all my shop lights. But they were expensive, and that first fixture was still pretty pricey at over $100. Fast forward a year later, and now there are lots more alternatives at much less cost. Take a look at this LED fixture. It's a commercial electric brand from Home Depot. I find it ironic that the manufacturers choose to make it look like a standard 4-bulb fluorescent fixture. As we saw, the lights are tiny and they could have chose any form factor they wanted. There's a lot to like about this fixture. The tubes are plastic, so they should be durable. And it comes with a wired cord, which works well for my situation. And they have a pull chain on-off switch, which might be useful in situations where you don't have a wired outlet to a switch. Best of all, it's bright. 7,000 lumens output, and it lights up a portion of my garage like sunshine. To see exactly how much brighter it was, I downloaded a light meter app on my phone. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but it sure is great for comparisons. On the left is the old 2-bulb T12 fluorescent at 300 lux, and the new 7,000 lumen LED fixture just crushes it at 970 lux. Amazing. Also, this new LED fixture has a claimed life of 50,000 hours. And by my readings, with a kilowatt meter, it draws only 78 watts. That's less than the fluorescent tubes it replaced. And at 63 bucks, it's cheaper than my original high output LED fixture as the price continues to come down. I also decided to try one of these cheaper LED fixtures. This is a bare bones fixture that is direct wire with no pull cord. It's basic in design, and its output is rated at 3200 lumens. Because you can see here, the diffuser is thin and the frame of the fixture is basic sheet metal. But it works pretty well once it's mounted, and it only costs 30 bucks. Still, measuring with my phone app, it blows away the old fluorescent fixture that it replaced. Seeing this option makes full shop replacement possible without breaking the bank. I also ran into what I thought would be another possibility. There are several manufacturers selling these replacement LED shop light bulbs. The idea is that you keep your existing fluorescent fixture and insert these LED bulbs. They are reasonably priced too, at just 18 bucks per pair for a 4-foot T12 T8 size. When I first saw these, I thought, game over, LEDs win. But when I tried them, I was actually disappointed. I installed them in an older T12 fluorescent fixture, and a horrible hum started as soon as I flipped the switch. So then I tried moving them to a different T8 fluorescent fixture, and although the hum was gone, the output was actually pretty dismal, significantly less bright than the T8 fluorescent tubes they replaced. So close, but no cigar. And so I can't recommend these Philips replacement LED bulbs. For those of you who live in cold climates, another big benefit of LED technology is you won't have problems with them firing up. You guys know that your garage fluorescents are iffy in the winter. Some may not come on, others might flicker and drive you bonkers. LEDs are instant on, and they don't seem to have problems with extreme temperatures. Another consideration is storage and disposal of fluorescent tubes. Scenes like this are an accident waiting to happen. Fluorescent tubes are fragile glass, and probably everyone out there has experienced breakage at least once in their life. And when they break, they make a huge mess of fine glass shards. With the prices continuing to come down on LEDs, it can be difficult to know when to jump in. But I think once you try one of these high output fixtures, your world is going to change for the better. I found it makes a huge difference in things like making precise cuts, applying finish and painting, and just being able to read the tape measure easier. So I hope this was helpful, and as always, I appreciate you watching.